Why were you born in this body, not another? Discover the Buddha's profound truth. Have you ever asked yourself, why was I born in this body? A question that lingers in the stillness of your heart, especially as the years pass. It's a question that haunts us in our quietest moments. We may not always voice it, but deep within the thought persists. Why this body? Why this family? Why this life? For some, the question arises in times of suffering, a sick body, a life of poverty, or a soul burdened by grief. For others, it may come at the peak of success when, despite outward wealth and health, a deep sense of emptiness creeps in and the question resounds even louder. Why am I here in this life, in this form? You may have heard others dismiss it as nothing more than chance or the result of random biology. But let me tell you, this question holds far more weight than you may realize. It's not just a fleeting thought or a coincidence of existence. It's an existential inquiry into the very core of our being, a question about the meaning and purpose behind the life we are living. In this video, you're about to discover an answer far deeper than you could have ever imagined, an answer that has stood the test of time, rooted in the profound teachings of one of history's greatest minds, the Buddha. Unlike superficial explanations of fate or divine will, the Buddha offers us a transformative understanding of life that goes beyond chance. He invites us to look inward, to understand that the life we live today is not random nor mere happenstance. The Buddha's teachings offer something revolutionary, that life is not controlled by random forces or dictated by the will of a higher power. Instead, life is the unfolding result of our past actions. Yes, the very choices we make, whether conscious or unconscious, shape the life we live today. This video is filled with powerful insights that could alter the course of your life. You'll uncover the ancient wisdom of karma, the laws that bind our actions to our experiences, and how you, yes you, are the creator of your destiny. Don't just skim through. Watch closely, because understanding this knowledge could unlock the answers to the questions that have plagued you for a lifetime. From this moment on, everything you think, say, or do will hold a deeper significance. The transformation you've been seeking begins here. Watch until the end and you will grasp the full meaning behind your life and, more importantly, the power you hold to shape it. Let's dive into the profound wisdom that the Buddha has to offer. Chapter 1: Karma and the Seeds We Plant. In the vast tapestry of existence, few truths are as profound and far-reaching as the Buddha's teachings on karma. We often view karma through a lens shaped by myth, superstition, or divine judgment, a cosmic ledger that keeps track of our every misstep and rewards or punishes us accordingly. But the Buddha, in his wisdom, untangles this notion and presents karma not as something to fear or worship, but as a natural law, an immutable principle of cause and effect. Karma is not a divine ruler sitting on high, doling out punishments or rewards. It is the simple, inexorable law that all things, our actions, our thoughts, our words, have consequences. These consequences, subtle or profound, ripple through the fabric of our lives, shaping the present moment and steering the course of our future. The Buddha did not speak of karma as something abstract or mystical. Rather, it is a deeply practical and observable truth. It's a law of nature, like gravity. Every thought you entertain, every word you speak, and every deed you commit plants a seed in the fertile soil of your mind and, ultimately, your life. Consider for a moment the words you speak every day. Do they come from a place of kindness, patience, and understanding? Or are they sharp, bitter, and unkind? The words you speak today will have an effect tomorrow. The kindness you extend to others today may not immediately come back to you, but over time, it will. The seeds you plant with your actions today will sprout into experiences, opportunities, or hardships tomorrow. But here's the essential insight: karma is not about blame. When we look at our life circumstances and wonder, why was I born into this family? Why do I experience this suffering? We are often unconsciously grappling with the invisible thread of karma, the deep, interconnected web of causes and conditions that stretch far beyond our conscious memory. Karma is neither an indictment nor a blessing. It is the natural consequence of our past actions. It is not an act of judgment, but a quiet force that shapes our journey. The Buddha didn't say, "You deserve this," or "You are being punished for your sins." Instead, he invited us to see that our present situation is the result of actions and choices, some recent, some from long ago, that have culminated in this moment. Imagine, if you will, a tree in the forest. It does not remember the hand that planted its seed, nor does it recall the storm that knocked it down years ago. Yet its growth, its strength, and its form are the result of every event, every condition that has shaped its life from the beginning. In the same way, our present circumstances are shaped by countless past actions. Some of these actions are from this lifetime, others from lifetimes we cannot remember. The seeds of our past actions have long since sprouted, and the fruits they bear may not be immediately apparent. Perhaps you've wondered, if karma shapes my present, why can't I remember my past actions? It's a question that many of us have asked in moments of doubt. Why do I not recall the actions that led to the life I am living? The truth is, memory, like a candle, illuminates only what is close at hand. It is limited by the constraints of time and the nature of the mind, but that does not negate the reality of karma. Just because we do not remember planting the seed does not mean it wasn't planted. Just because we do not remember the actions that have shaped us does not mean they have not left their mark. The law of karma is an invisible current that flows beneath the surface of our consciousness, silently guiding the course of our lives. It is important, however, to understand that karma is not deterministic. It does not imprison us in a fixed future. We are not bound to a specific fate because of past actions. While our past has certainly shaped who we are, it does not define what we can become. The Buddha spoke often of the potential for transformation. The seeds we plant today, in this very moment, can shape the future in ways we cannot yet imagine. Our present actions are not just echoes of the past. They are the seeds that will shape the future. We have the power right now to alter the course of our lives through our actions, intentions, and choices. This is the beauty of the Buddha's teachings on karma. They remind us that we are not victims of our past. We are participants in the ongoing unfolding of life. We are not bound by our previous actions, but are empowered by the ability to choose, to act with intention, and to create the conditions for a better future. The law of karma, while immutable, is also flexible. It offers us the possibility of transformation and healing as we understand the causes that have shaped us and take responsibility for the seeds we plant moving forward. When you sit quietly reflecting on your life and its many twists and turns, understand that the present is the result of the seeds you have planted, both knowingly and unknowingly, in the past. But it is not too late. The moment you become aware of the seeds you have planted, you are empowered to change the direction of your life. Just as a gardener tends to the soil, we can tend to our thoughts, words, and deeds. We can plant seeds of compassion, of wisdom, and of love, and in time we will see those seeds bear fruit. Life is not a random game of chance, nor is it governed by the whims of an unpredictable fate. It is the unfolding of a natural law, a law of cause and effect, of action and consequence. And in this law there is profound beauty, the beauty of choice, of transformation, and of healing. Through the practice of mindfulness and understanding, we begin to see the invisible threads of karma that have shaped us. And when we see clearly, we gain the power to choose the seeds we plant today, the seeds that will grow into a future of peace, wisdom, and compassion. So when you ask, why was I born like this? Remember that your life is the culmination of countless seeds, some from this life, some from others. And as you move forward, always remember, you are the gardener of your own life, and the seeds you plant today will shape the forest of your future. Chapter 2: The Current of Rebirth and the Mind's Stream. Life in all its complexity is not a static experience. It is fluid, constantly shifting and evolving with each passing moment. The Buddha's teachings on the mind provide a profound understanding of this flow. Unlike the common perception of the mind as a solid, unchanging entity, the Buddha viewed the mind as a dynamic, ever-changing stream, a river that is continually reshaped by the thoughts we think, the actions we take, and the intentions we nurture. Imagine, if you will, a river. The water never stays the same. It flows constantly, shaped by the terrain, the obstacles, and the energy that surrounds it. Just as a river's course shifts with each new current, so too does our mind, constantly flowing from one thought to the next, from one moment to the next. It is not a fixed, unyielding thing, but a living, evolving stream. This concept of the mind as a stream is essential to understanding the Buddha's teachings on rebirth. Rebirth is not the reincarnation of a fixed, unchanging soul. Rather, it is the continuation of causes and conditions, an ongoing process shaped by the actions and choices we make. The Buddha often compared rebirth to a flame passing from one candle to another. The second flame is not the same as the first, but it exists because of it. The first flame gives life to the second. Similarly, when one life ends, it does not end the stream, it is simply passed on. The next life is born from the karmic seeds planted by the actions of the life before it. This idea of rebirth challenges the common belief in a fixed soul that travels from one life to another, unchanging and eternal. Instead, the Buddha's insight suggests that we are not traveling with a permanent self from one existence to the next. Instead, rebirth is a continuation of actions, thoughts, and conditions that have shaped our past, and now, as we enter this life, continue to shape who we are and what we will become. We may wonder if our lives are shaped by actions from past lives. Why don't we remember those past lives? Why don't we recall the choices, the actions, the deeds that set this cycle in motion? It is natural to question this, and the Buddha provided an insightful answer. Our memories are like a candle, focused only on the present, unable to reach back and illuminate the past. Just as a tree does not remember the seed it sprouted from, we too do not have direct access to the actions that created our current form. But just because we cannot remember the specific causes does not mean they do not shape us. The ripples of past actions are present in every moment of our life, influencing our circumstances, our relationships, our health, and even our deepest fears and desires. Take, for example, the emotional tendencies that we carry with us. Some people seem to naturally approach life with a sense of joy and ease, while others might find themselves perpetually burdened by anxiety or sadness. These tendencies are not random. They are shaped by our past actions, both in this life and in previous ones. Our emotional responses, our instincts, our inclinations are the accumulated results of karma. Whether they arise from this lifetime or previous ones, they carry the echoes of past choices and experiences. Even the challenges we face in life are not arbitrary. When we encounter difficulties, be they physical, emotional, or psychological, it's easy to ask, why me? Why was I born into hardship? Why do I suffer? The Buddha teaches that these circumstances are not the result of random chance, but the natural unfolding of causes and conditions, the seeds we planted in the past, now ripening in the present. But this realization does not lead to despair or resignation. In fact, it is quite the opposite. It is a powerful invitation to take responsibility for the course of our lives. When we understand that the mind is not a fixed entity, but a living, flowing stream, we recognize that we have the power to direct its course. If we understand the nature of our past actions and the ways in which they have shaped us, we can begin to make conscious choices that will influence the course of our future. The Buddha taught that our actions today are the seeds for tomorrow. The thoughts we entertain, the words we speak, and the deeds we perform are not isolated. They are part of a continuous stream that flows through our lives, and they shape the future in ways we often cannot see. Just as a river once set into motion eventually reaches the sea, so too do our actions, once set in motion, inevitably bring us to a future shaped by them. This is the heart of the Buddha's teachings on karma and rebirth. The realization that we are not victims of an unchangeable fate. We are active participants in the flow of life. We are the creators of our future, shaping it through the choices we make in the present. While we may not remember the causes of our present circumstances, we have the power to change the course of our lives by planting new seeds of kindness, compassion, wisdom, and mindfulness. The Buddha's insight invites us to see beyond the surface of our experiences and to understand the deeper currents that are shaping us. When we live with awareness, we begin to see the interconnectedness of all things, the way each action creates ripples that touch not only our own lives but the lives of those around us. When we realize that the mind is a stream, constantly changing and evolving, we are freed from the illusion of a fixed identity and are empowered to shape the course of our lives with wisdom and compassion. Rebirth, then, is not a distant event that happens after death. It is an ongoing process. Every moment is a new opportunity to shape the future, and with each thought, word, and deed, we contribute to the unfolding of the next moment, the next life. Just as the river flows, never the same as it was before, so too does the mind, constantly changing, evolving, and creating the conditions for what is to come. So, while we may not remember the actions of our past lives, we are not helpless. We are active participants in the flow of karma, and it is through understanding the nature of this flow that we can begin to live with greater awareness, greater compassion, and greater freedom. The stream of the mind is not something we passively endure. It is something we can consciously direct, shaping the future with every choice we make, and in doing so, we become the architects of our own destiny. Chapter 3, Karma and Freedom. Are we puppets of our past? There's a quiet, often unspoken fear that many of us carry deep within. What if my life is already set? What if I am destined to suffer, or perhaps destined to be content, no matter what I do? This fear can be paralyzing. It suggests that the forces of our past have already chained us to a predetermined future, one where we are merely puppets pulled along by invisible strings. The Buddha's teachings, however, offer us a radically different perspective. Karma is not fate. It is not the rigid, unchangeable force that some might think it is. Instead, it is a living, dynamic force, a current that flows and evolves as we do. To understand this more deeply, it's crucial to see karma for what it truly is. Karma is often misunderstood as some sort of cosmic punishment or reward system, a ledger that counts every wrong deed, every good act, and measures them to determine our future. But the Buddha's teachings reveal a far subtler, far more empowering truth. Karma is the law of cause and effect, not a predestined path that locks us into suffering or bliss. It is the natural unfolding of our actions, thoughts, and intentions which leave lasting impressions, ripples that shape the world around us. We may look at the difficulties we face, whether it's in relationships, career struggles, health issues, or emotional pain, and think, this is just the way life is for me. Maybe I am just meant to struggle. The Buddha doesn't deny the reality of suffering. He doesn't suggest that we can escape life's difficulties altogether, but he teaches us that our current situation is not a permanent sentence. The struggles of today do not mean we are trapped forever. The key to breaking free lies not in what has already happened, but in what we choose to do right now. Our actions today, no matter how small, can change the course of our future. Imagine karma like a river. The water doesn't flow in one fixed direction forever. It's constantly moving, reshaped by rocks, bends, and obstacles along its way. The flow of water can be guided, can be redirected, and sometimes it can even forge new paths altogether. Similarly, the current of karma flows through us, influenced by past actions, but we have the power to change its direction. Our thoughts, words, and deeds in the present moment can create new causes that shape a different future. So if you feel trapped by your past, it's important to understand that you are not locked into the patterns of your previous actions. The Buddha's insight reminds us that while our past actions may have shaped our present, they do not define us. We are not our past, we are not a product of the mistakes or successes that have come before. The past may influence us, but it does not determine our future. What truly matters now is what we choose to do with the present moment. Every thought we think, every word we speak, every action we take is like planting a seed. Some seeds might be small and quiet, some might seem insignificant. Yet just as a single seed can grow into a vast tree, every action we take, every intention we set, begins to take root and will eventually bear fruit. The fruits of today are the seeds of tomorrow. Karma is not a deterministic force, nor is it an inevitable fate. The idea that we are simply following a predestined course is a misunderstanding. The Buddha taught us that the nature of the mind is impermanent and flexible. We are not fixed entities with no control over our path. In fact, we have a remarkable freedom. We are not bound to the mistakes of the past, nor are we prisoners of our circumstances. Instead, we have the freedom to choose how we respond to life right now, and in that choice lies the power to shift the direction of our life. This is the deep beauty of karma. It reveals to us that we are the creators of our future. We are not victims of a fixed destiny. Our future is not dictated by the hands of some invisible force or by a past that cannot be changed. Our future is shaped by the choices we make today. When we choose to act with kindness, compassion, mindfulness, and wisdom, we plant seeds that will ripen into a life of peace and fulfillment. When we choose to act out of anger, greed, or ignorance, we plant seeds that will bear fruit in the form of suffering and discontent. But here's the most important part: we are never helpless. No matter where you find yourself in life, no matter the hardships you face or the mistakes you've made, you have the power to shape your destiny. You may not be able to control everything that happens to you, but you always have control over how you respond. And that response over time will change the course of your life. Karma is not something to fear. It is not a judgment, nor is it a fate we are condemned to. It is simply a natural law, a law of cause and effect. And within that law lies a profound gift, the gift of choice. It is a choice to respond to life with awareness, with compassion, with wisdom, and with intention. It is a choice to plant seeds of goodness and to nurture the kind of future you want to experience. The Buddha's teachings on karma are a call to action. They challenge us to take responsibility for our lives, not by blaming ourselves for the past, but by understanding that we have the power to transform our future through the actions we take today. Karma is not about being punished for past wrongs. It is about recognizing that we are always in the process of shaping ourselves, our lives, and our world. Every moment offers a fresh opportunity to plant new seeds. We are not bound by the past. We are free to create our future. The river of karma may have flowed through us in one direction, but we can redirect it, change its course, and create a path that leads to peace, to wisdom, and to liberation. So when the fear arises that you are nothing more than a puppet of your past, remember, you are the creator of your destiny. The past may have shaped you, but it does not define you. The choices you make now are what will shape your future, and that is where your true power lies. You are not helpless. You are not bound. You are free to choose, and in those choices lies your freedom. Chapter 4, The Blueprint of Life, Understanding Our Unique Paths. In the journey of life, there is a question that often arises within us. Why are some born healthy while others are sick? Why does one person seem to effortlessly absorb knowledge while another struggles endlessly to learn the same things? This question has puzzled humanity for as long as we can remember. It's the natural tendency to wonder why we experience such vast differences in our circumstances, abilities, and outcomes. But the answer, according to the Buddha's teachings, is rooted in the ancient law of karma, a law that shapes the blueprint of each individual's life. Karma, as we have explored, is not a force of mere punishment or reward. It is not a cosmic ledger keeping score of good and bad actions. Instead, karma is the law of cause and effect, a fundamental principle that shapes everything in our lives, from our health and wealth to our emotions, relationships, and even the way we experience the world around us. The Buddha's teaching on karma helps us understand that our unique path in life, with all its triumphs and challenges, is not the result of random chance, nor is it the will of some higher power. Our circumstances are shaped by the accumulated actions, thoughts, and decisions that we have made across countless lifetimes. This blueprint of life, shaped by karma, is a profound understanding that can be both humbling and empowering. Just as an artist shapes a masterpiece by carefully placing each brushstroke on the canvas, so too do our actions shape the canvas of our lives. The conditions into which we are born, the family we are born into, the challenges we face, the opportunities we encounter, are not mere accidents. They are the result of the seeds we have planted in the past, some recent, some from long before we could remember. The Buddha spoke of karma as a stream that flows through us, carrying with it the results of past actions and the potential for future growth. But the flow of karma is not a straight line, it's a winding path. Some seeds we've planted ripen quickly, while others take time to bear fruit. Our minds, bodies, and experiences are constantly in the process of unfolding, influenced by causes that go back far beyond our current awareness. Some of the fruits of our past karma are evident now, while others may take years or even lifetimes to appear. What is important to recognize is that no one's life is better or worse than another's because of their circumstances. This is crucial in understanding the Buddha's teaching of karma. Each individual is not defined by their external conditions alone, nor is their worth determined by the fruits of their karma. Instead, we must understand that our unique path, filled with both joys and hardships, is the result of countless past actions and decisions. Some of us are born into situations that seem more favorable, good health, wealth, or intellectual brilliance, while others are born into hardship. But none of us is inherently superior or inferior because of our circumstances. This insight from the Buddha offers us a way to let go of comparison and judgment. We often compare ourselves to others, seeing them as luckier, more gifted, or more fortunate. We may ask, why do they have it so easy while I struggle? But when we view the world through the lens of karma, we understand that each individual is living out the consequences of their past actions, and these circumstances are not a reflection of their worth. We are all in the process of unfolding, and no one's path is predetermined to be better or worse than anyone else's. Imagine two people born on the same day in the same hospital, yet their lives unfold in completely different ways. One might experience chronic illness while the other thrives in good health. One might struggle in school while the other excels. Yet both individuals are the result of their own accumulated karma, the seeds they have planted through thoughts, words, and actions across many lifetimes. The life of one is no more deserved than the life of the other. It is simply a reflection of their karmic blueprint, shaped by actions from the past. This understanding allows us to approach others with greater compassion. When we see someone struggling, we are no longer quick to judge or dismiss their suffering. Instead, we can recognize that their struggles are not the result of something they deserve or a reflection of their worth. Their path, like ours, is the result of the interplay of countless causes and conditions. And just as we hope for compassion in our own struggles, we can extend that same understanding to others. At the same time, understanding the blueprint of karma can empower us. While our past actions shape the conditions of our lives, they do not define us. The Buddha did not teach that we are trapped by our karma, but that we are always in the process of shaping it through our choices. Even though we may not remember all the seeds we've planted in the past, we can still choose what seeds to plant today. Every thought, every word, every action we take is an opportunity to plant a new seed, one that will shape the future. This is where the power of karma lies, not in the inevitability of our fate, but in our ability to act with intention and awareness. Just as a gardener can carefully tend to the seeds in the soil, we can tend to our thoughts, words, and deeds. By practicing mindfulness, compassion, and wisdom, we can create a new path for ourselves, regardless of the circumstances of our birth or the challenges we face. Karma does not bind us to our past. It offers us the chance to shape our future, and this is where freedom lies. We are not slaves to the past. We are creators, moment by moment, shaping the blueprint of our lives with each choice we make. In the Buddha's teachings, we are reminded that our lives are not random. They are the result of a long and complex pattern of causes and effects. Understanding this can bring us great peace as we let go of the need to compare ourselves to others. We are all walking our own unique path, shaped by the actions we have taken and the seeds we continue to plant. So when you look at your life with all its ups and downs, joys and sorrows, know that you are the result of your past actions, but you are also the creator of your future. Your path is not set in stone. It is a work in progress, a canvas that you continue to shape with every decision you make. And in this realization lies the profound truth of karma. Our lives are uniquely ours to create, and the power to change, to grow, and to transform is always in our hands. Chapter 5: The Human Potential, A Path to Freedom. The ultimate purpose of life, according to the Buddha, is not simply to avoid suffering. Suffering is an undeniable part of the human experience, but the Buddha's teachings offer us something far more profound than a life of mere endurance. The Buddha did not encourage us to passively accept suffering, as if we are fated to live in pain without understanding. Rather, he provided a roadmap, a path to transcend suffering, a way to free ourselves from the roots of our suffering, not by escaping it, but by transforming it. The key to this transformation lies in freedom. Freedom from ignorance, freedom from craving, and freedom from the relentless cycle of rebirth that binds us to a life of endless striving. Many of us walk through life burdened by the weight of our desires and attachments, caught in the cycle of wanting more, grasping at fleeting pleasures, and ultimately experiencing disappointment when they fade. This cycle, known in Buddhism as samsara, is the result of our ignorance, the ignorance of the true nature of life and our place within it. We are often blind to the impermanent, interconnected, and ever-changing nature of reality. This ignorance, coupled with our attachments, creates suffering that seems inescapable, but the Buddha's path offers a radical solution. He showed us that the root of suffering is not found in the external world, but in our internal responses to the world. Our desires, our fears, our attachments, these are the seeds of suffering. By addressing the root causes of our suffering, we can free ourselves from this endless cycle. We do not need to suppress or ignore our suffering, but rather, we need to understand its nature and cultivate a way of living that allows us to rise above it. The path to freedom that the Buddha taught is a threefold path: ethical living, meditation, and wisdom. These practices are the means through which we can purify the mind and transform the patterns of thought, word, and action that have bound us to suffering for so long. This is not a quick fix or an easy escape. It is a lifetime journey of self-discovery and inner growth, one that requires dedication, patience, and a willingness to confront the deepest aspects of ourselves. 1. Ethical living. The Buddha's teachings on ethics offer us a guide to living in harmony with others and with ourselves. This includes practicing virtues like kindness, honesty, patience, generosity, and compassion. Through ethical living, we begin to align our actions with the natural laws of the universe, creating harmony in our relationships and within our own hearts. This shift allows us to move away from selfishness and greed and to cultivate a sense of interconnectedness with all beings. It is through ethical actions that we begin to unravel the web of karma that binds us to patterns of suffering, creating a foundation of peace and goodwill in our lives. 2. Meditation. The Buddha placed great emphasis on meditation as a means to purify the mind. Meditation is the practice of stilling the restless mind, calming the storm of thoughts and emotions that often lead us astray. It allows us to see our true nature and the nature of reality with clarity and understanding. Meditation helps us to observe the present moment without judgment, cultivating mindfulness and awareness. Through this practice, we can let go of attachments, heal from past traumas, and cultivate the inner peace that is essential for liberation. Meditation is a tool of transformation, allowing us to shift from reactive patterns to a place of inner calm and clarity. 3. Wisdom. The final aspect of the Buddha's path is wisdom, or insight into the nature of reality. Through ethical living and meditation, we begin to open our hearts and minds to deeper truths. We come to understand that suffering arises from our attachments and ignorance of the true nature of things. Wisdom is the ability to see life as it truly is, not as we wish it to be, but as it is in its impermanence and interconnectedness. This wisdom allows us to move beyond the cycle of craving, grasping, and suffering, and to experience life with equanimity and peace. The Buddha did not promise that this path would lead to a perfect life. The challenges and difficulties of life do not disappear, but when we approach them with a mind that is free from ignorance and attachment, our relationship to suffering changes. We are no longer defined by it. Instead of running away from difficulties or being overwhelmed by them, we approach them with understanding, patience, and compassion. We transform suffering into an opportunity for growth and awakening. What the Buddha offers us is not a life of passive acceptance, but a life of active transformation. Every choice we make, every thought we entertain, every word we speak, these are the seeds we are planting for the future. Through mindful awareness, we can choose to plant seeds of kindness, compassion, and wisdom. As we cultivate these qualities, we begin to see the profound effects they have on our lives. We start to experience a transformation that brings peace to our hearts, wisdom to our minds, and compassion to our actions. As we embark on this path, we realize that the power to change is always within us. We are not helpless victims of circumstance, we are creators of our own destiny. Through understanding and compassion, we can heal the wounds of the past and build a future grounded in peace, love, and wisdom. This transformation is not a linear process. It's a continuous journey, one that evolves as we deepen our understanding and expand our capacity for compassion. Each step we take on this path brings us closer to the realization that we are not separate from others, but deeply interconnected with all beings. In that realization lies freedom from the cycles of craving, fear, and suffering, and the ability to live a life of true joy and peace. The Buddha's path to freedom does not promise perfection, but it offers us something far more valuable. The freedom to live with understanding, the freedom to act with compassion, and the freedom to live a life that is at peace with itself. This is the potential of being human, to awaken to the truth of our interconnectedness, to purify our hearts and minds, and to live a life of profound meaning and purpose. So in this very moment, we each have the power to choose the path of wisdom, compassion, and understanding. Through our choices, we can shape our future, plant seeds of kindness, and ultimately transcend the suffering that binds us. This is the path to freedom, the path that the Buddha laid out for us, a path that begins here in this moment with the choices we make today. And the final chapter is the power of understanding karmic obstacles. If you've ever asked yourself, why was I born in this body? You're not alone. Many of us have grappled with the weight of this question, wondering if our lives are preordained by fate or perhaps a punishment for past wrongs. But the Buddha's teachings offer us something far more empowering, far more transformative than such simplistic notions of destiny or judgment. The Buddha did not tell us that we are merely victims of an unchangeable fate, nor did he teach that we are bound forever by past mistakes. Instead, he presented us with a powerful truth. You are the owner of your actions. You are not a prisoner of your past, nor are you doomed to a future of suffering or contentment. The path forward is not determined by what has happened, but by what you choose to do right now. In the great web of karma, you hold the thread of your own destiny. Every choice you make, every action you take, every word you speak plants a seed. And these seeds, though they may seem small, will shape tomorrow's harvest. It is not the weight of your past that defines you, but the intention and effort you put forth today. You have the power to change, to grow, and to shape your future with the wisdom and compassion you cultivate now. Imagine for a moment, what if you realized that every action you take, every thought you entertain, can create a ripple of transformation in your life? What if you understood that you are the creator of your future, not a passive observer, but the architect of your destiny? This realization is not just a philosophy, it is a tool. A tool that can completely shift the trajectory of your life. Karma is not a sentence, it is an opportunity. It is a living force shaped by your choices, and in every moment you have the ability to choose wisely, to plant seeds of love, kindness, and wisdom. The Buddha's teachings remind us that change is possible for ourselves and for the world around us. It's not an abstract idea, it's a reality that we can step into right now. The moment you recognize that you are not the victim of your past, everything can change. The power is in your hands. This video has been packed with insights into the profound teachings of karma, offering you not just knowledge, but the tools to transform your life. If you've watched this far, you've already taken the first step toward understanding the true power of karma. Now it's time to take action. The future begins in this moment, and with each conscious choice, you shape the life you want to live. So ask yourself, what seeds will you plant today? What kind of harvest do you wish to reap? The power to create a new future lies within you, and from that realization, everything can change.